Welcome to Ask Me Anything, featuring spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.
Hi, everybody. I'm spiritual medium and psychotherapist and author Kellee White. And welcome to Ask Me Anything on July 17th, 2025. I got the date correct now. So let me say hi to a few people. I have lots to say, as per usual, and I'll answer as many questions. And we're going to talk about Vedic astrology versus Western astrology and why I love and am committed to Vedic astrology. And we're going to talk about that. And I'm going to also talk about, obviously, Vedic astrology of what's going on right now, because everybody can feel this intense, extreme everything. It feels like everything is extreme. But let me say hi to a few people, and then I'm going to get right on into everything. Hi, Miranda Constantine. She said, I wrote a journal and just decided I should name it Forever in a Day. I think that's a great idea, and share it. Yes, I do. And writing's been your therapy, and it brings you peace. I think, listen, if you can find something that you love to do during these very intense times, do it. If writing brings you peace, do it. If you want to get it out to the world, do it. Why not? And this is really a special time to cultivate those kind of things of what brings you peace and joy and happiness and gratitude. Do it, Miranda. Hi, Ricky. How are you, honey? He says, near the end of my morning walk in the woods, for some reason, I decided not to turn towards home. I repeated a section of the trail. Intuition? Yes. And he says, I came across a horned owl only 6 feet from me in a tree. Okay. Rick, that is, what a totem. Boy, get ready for your life to go deeply spiritual. I know you're an Ace of Spades. Ace of Spades is deeply spiritual. And it says that you stared at each other for 20 to 30 seconds before he flew off. It was so cool. Had I not continued the walk, I would have missed it. And then when I got home, I came across a large hawk. Okay. So an owl represents the female psyche and the female psychic, and a hawk represents the male psychic. But they are both all about psychic ability and intuition and stepping into your own power, literally your own spiritual awareness and power. So I cannot think of better totems for you to find like on this journey. I mean, this is, and you found a feather on they left you a feather? Okay, I've got chills. I think save that feather, because that's really a special. When you get something like that from a totem, it's extremely special. So you will not forget, this spiritual connection that you have. And watch all of a sudden, pay attention to your intuition, because they both represent intuition. So suddenly you may know things. Suddenly you may start feeling different, thinking different. This is it's a great thing, Rick. Really great. I'm really happy about that. Hi, Carolyn. You're going to save your questions for the Power of 10 this Saturday. Oh, I'm so looking forward to it also. I have another Power of 10 coming up on August 16th, I think. It's not been announced yet, but it will be announced very soon. So I have another one. I'm going to try to do that once a month, everybody. Hi, Therapy Gal Sue. Hi, Judy L. She wishes everybody a great evening. Hi, Sarah Stone. Hi, Laura Davies. Laurel, how are you? Is it hot in Wisconsin? Well, today it was 70 degrees, so kind of a switch on the heat. However, we've had some really wacky weather, as you may have heard on the news. And I have to tell you guys kind of a funny story. On Friday, I was in a session later than normal, because normally I finish by 6 o'clock, but somebody needed to see me. So I was having started at 6 o'clock my time. And we start the session, and my windows were all, I didn't have my blinds up so I could see outside. And then all of a sudden it got pitch black outside, pitch black. And my phone goes off, and it's the siren, and Don is, knocking on the door, and he's like, look, we have a tornado warning. We got to go. And I looked at this woman in the middle of a session, literally, who was born and raised in Los Angeles, like me. It was really funny. And I said, I'm sorry, I have to go. There's a tornado warning. And she said, are you kidding me? Like, we were really getting into deep stuff, And I go, no, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding at all. I have to go. Well, when am I going to see you? I don't know. I'll get back to you. Anyway, I ended up seeing her this morning, but she said, were you okay? And I said, yeah, we were, but it gets a little dicey with this. And then of course we had major situations yesterday as well. But fortunately for me, they were in between clients. So it all worked. But it's been a wild, wacky weather time. Everything is in the extreme. And I'm going to explain it when I go do some astrology here. Sherry Kraft says, I was introduced to Vedic astrology in the 80s, and I was born on April 1st and never felt like an Aries, and Pisces really seemed more like me. I wonder why anyone uses Western astrology. Sherry, I'm with you. I don't know. It makes no sense in my brain. None. But and I'll talk about that when we get to that. But thank you for that. I appreciate that. Hi, Stacy. Oh, you're so welcome. I introduced you to astrology. It's a fascinating roadmap. I mean, that's what I love about it. Yeah, Misty, the energy is nuts. Yes, I'm glad you're here with us live. Hi, Gayla. Hi, Gayla. Oh, thank you, honey. Hi, Linda. Hi, Lana. So, hi, Kim. Hi, Laura. Hi, Pam. So I could keep going on, but I'm going to start and talk a lot about the Vedic astrology, and then I'm going to go into the difference in why I prefer it. And for me, it's the only thing. But right now, if we talk about the astrology of what's going on right now, again, using Vedic astrology, these are powerful, extreme energies. So if we talk about the weather, Neptune is retrograde. And Neptune is all about the weather in Pisces. So we're going to have extremes on so many fronts here. And it's traveling with Saturn, which will bring even more heavy-duty extremes. So we've got extreme, with the tornadoes and the floods and earthquakes. There's a big earthquake in Alaska, and this is still going to ramp up. This is not going away. This is still going to continue here. And the big thing that I wanted to talk about is, we have a bigger, there's more? Oh, there's more. And this is actually larger. We have this Mars and K2 conjunction, and it's in Leo until the end of July. Now, it's ramping up. Now, what does that even mean? So it means Mars is the planet of war. It's the planet of intense energy, a lot of male energy. It's intense. And it's conjunct, which is at the same degree, really close to the same degree, and really at the same degree as for the next several days, with K2. And K2 is the south node, and K2 is a higher degree of Mars. So you have two like warriors traveling together in a sign Leo, which is, sign of war too. I mean, it can be. I mean, Leo represents the heart, and by the way, I don't know if you guys have had this experience, but I've had more people that I know, more people, clients, friends, family members, all kinds of people that I know that are having heart issues. And I have to wonder if it has something to do with this conjunction in Leo, because Leo is, can be, it's the heart. So I'm wondering if anybody else is having these. I'm hearing a lot of AFibs. I know somebody that has to have a heart transplant that came up suddenly. I know a lot of people that have had heart attacks and weird heart situations. So I'm just curious about that. But anyway, we have this Mars K2 conjunction that really heats up, and it's starting now. It's really, really starting to heat up now. What do I mean by that? Well, this energy can bring personal transformation to a lot of people, but it brings a lot of potential challenges. And this is considered a very intense time that can bring war, violence, and terrorism. And this can spark global conflict. Unexpected situations may arise across the world. And it was the same, very close to the same energy that happened on September 11th, where Mars was conjunct with K2 in Sagittarius. But this is a very intense time. So, kind of watch where you are, what you do. We also have Mercury going retrograde, and it's already begun. It's begun for the last 2 weeks. We've been in the shadow. The exact retrograde is July 18th. But on that day, on July 18th, the energy kind of holds before a planet retrogrades, where it just holds. So this is going to be in Cancer. Cancer is of the home, right? And sensitivity. And so whenever, this Mercury retrograde in Cancer will bring a lot of confusion. So if you're going to sign something, probably not the best time to sign something if you can wait, because it brings confusion to the mind. And there could be a lot of miscommunications with this. Now, whenever Mercury goes retrograde, it's always about the R's. It's like to reconnect or rebuild or reconstruct, reboot. You might want to reboot your computer. It's reflection, reassessment, revisit. It's also a time where people from the past can come into our life, and it gives us an opportunity to say, no, don't want you back. Run for your life. It brings you the opportunity to make all kinds of choices in what I'm going to call a very emotional and can be volatile time. So these planets are just out of control. So traveling is going to be probably pretty sketchy. And I know many people, this is summer, I know a lot of people have their plans, they're going here and there. Please, wear a seatbelt and really pack those patience, because and expect the unexpected. There could be a lot of unexpected turbulence or unexpected luggage lost or things like that during this chaos time, because it's a full of chaos. Bring a good book, bring an extra battery for your phone in the event that, you need more power. So this is a really, really intense time. And also on July 24th, so that's going into next week. It's a week from tonight. I'll be doing a show then. There's a new moon in Cancer with a yod, a finger of God. And it's a new moon. It's at 7 degrees of Cancer, and it's opposed to Pluto with Saturn and Neptune. So that makes this a very kind of explosive time also. So again, let's just call it the next 2 weeks. Let's just even it out and call it 2 weeks. Just be mindful if you're feeling the energy. If you're feeling the energy, which most people are, maybe go in for meditation, breathing. The other day, something just told me, Kelly, just go sit in front of the produce, which is really what I do when I just need a good clearing of everything. I just go in front of the produce and I look at the flowers. I have to tell you, it works for me every time. Take your shoes off, walk outside in nature, hug your animals. These are all really good things. Listen to music. Listen to music is always a good thing, because that can also bring you a lot of peace. And the energies will pass, but right now it's like watching watching it come towards us. And it is an intense time. So, I've been using that word a lot, but I can't think of another word to use with it, because it is something else. KM, it's your birthday. And yes, you can have a card and a happy birthday. First of all, happy birthday to you. And if today is your birthday, today is July 17th, that makes you a Jack of Clubs. Jack of Clubs loves to learn. They love to learn. They're also natural healers here. There's a whole thing about a Jack of Clubs. They have to grow up. But once they do, they become the best of the best healers here. All right, I'm going to get you an angel card, KM. 666. Interesting. Time to reflect. And now your birthday is coming right at this Mercury retrograde. And I was just saying, reflect. And 666 is all about balance, honey. So reflect on balance and what you have gratitude for. I think that would be a really good thing for you to do. And so now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to talk about why I love Vedic astrology and share some differences with you for Western astrology. And I love, Sherry, that you said you started this in the 80s. So in the 60s, yeah, I pulled the old card. In the 60s, my mother, who was just starting out her practice as a psychologist, she was always looking for new tools, and she loved New Age anything. So in the 60s, she always had these great books about astrology, and she would bring home astrologers. And it was always Western astrology because that was what we knew at the time. And I was young. I was, like between 10 and 20. And it was always, astrology this and astrology that and Virgo this and Virgo that. Because in my mom's mind, she was a Virgo. Turned out she was a triple Leo. But one day she said to me, because she was always trying to find tools that would help people. And astrology for me is a tool about know thyself. Knowing thyself is everything. I think it's so important. It's like waking up to who you are is really important. Astrology is also a roadmap. So it tells you a lot about yourself. And then it also can provide a great roadmap to what you're here for and where you're going and where you are now. So when I was 20 years old, my mother met somebody that knew this really well-known Vedic astrologer, and his name was Chakrapani. And Chakrapani was well-known all over the world from India, and he actually was the president of the Vedic Association. So the very first time I met with him, when I was 20 years old, now I only knew Western astrology. I didn't know anything about Vedic Eastern astrology. I didn't have a clue. But the moment I walked into his home, he lived in Brentwood, California. I'll never forget. The first time I walked in, I thought, I'm home here. And there was something about his energy. And there was something, even though I did not understand one friggin' word he was saying. First of all, he had a huge accent, really tough to follow. But the words he was using, Rahu, Ketu, Nakshatra, what was it? It was so foreign to anything I'd ever heard, except my soul just went into my soul. My soul was like, yeah, this is it. This is it. And I knew from that moment on that this was, it just went in, was for me. This was exactly my philosophy of life. And I was only 20. Like, how could I have known that? I did. It just inherently knew that this was correct for me. And so then I started taking, my first session with him, he said to me, you're going to be doing this because of this, this, and this in your chart. And he said, I said, I'm going to do what? Like, I could barely understand him. He said, you're going to do astrology. And he said, you're going to be like me. And I said, what? Again, I was 20 years old. Like, what? And I thought, my brain was so ADD. I could never figure out how I could study to even understand any of this stuff. But then he said to me, and you're going to be a psychic. And then he used the term medium, psychic, and you're going to work with people. And I was like, what? Are you talking to me? It's like I wanted to look around the room. Like, what? But there was something about that meeting, that first meeting. Now, I saw him many, many, many times throughout the years, many times. He passed away about 6 months before my mom passed away. And saw him for years. And whenever he would teach, I would always take a class with him because it was extraordinary. And I wanted to learn everything I could. And I would buy every book and try to study when I could, every single thing, because that for me made sense in my soul. So this is why I started going in this. I always was in this direction. The Western never fit me, but I love astrology. So again, for me, it's know thyself. So I want everybody to really know thyself. It's really what I want to promote always is know thyself. And so the shift from tropical zodiac or Western astrology to a sidereal zodiac or Eastern or Vedic, it can have a real profound impact on your understanding of who you are astrologically. Like you might be thinking, well, I'm really an Aries. I'm an Aries. Really? Okay. Well, let's look at it Vedically. You're a Pisces. What? And then all of a sudden the pieces start to fit. You'll see. Now, not for everybody. Some people are diehard Western, and that's fine. Again, and I'm going to talk about the differences here. But it is interesting because this has a way of giving you like a revelation of yourself. And of course, it could turn everything you know on your head. So that's kind of interesting too. But it's called Jyotish. Jyotish Vedic astrology. It's an ancient Indian philosophical tradition. and it studies the movement of the stars and their influence on human life. And Jyotish literally translates from Sanskrit as the science of light. And light in this context refers to the light radiation that's coming from the stars and the planets. And so in Vedic astrology, it's the oldest, it's an ancient Indian system of astrology that's rooted in the Vedas, which is the oldest Hindu scripture. That's how far this thing goes back. It studies the influence of the celestial bodies on human lives, and it uses this knowledge to understand the personality, predict the future, guide decision making. But unlike Western astrology, it uses the sidereal zodiac, which is based on where the constellations actually are, as opposed to the tropical zodiac, which is based on the sun and the Earth's equator. So Vedic astrology is based on the Vedas, and it goes back at least 1500 BCE. So that's a big thing right there. Vedic astrology also is about understanding karma and dharma. It helps you to understand what your karma is, your actions and your consequences from this life, from past life, and the dharma, what's your life purpose? And you can see this through the positions of the planets at birth. So sidereal or Vedic astrology is based on the actual positions of the stars and the constellations. And that makes it, for me, more dynamic than the tropical Western astrology. And so Western astrology, well, let me say this. So Vedic astrology, it acknowledges the precession of the equinoxes, meaning the constellations have shifted over time. So Vedic charts will show different zodiac signs other than Western charts for the same birth date. Because again, it's exactly where the stars line up, exactly. Where Western astrology is based on seasons and the sun's apparent path around the earth, but the zodiac signs are always aligned with the seasons. And like Aries starts at the spring equinox every year at the same time. Everything is the same. Not as if it doesn't shift, but planets and everything shifts. The stars shift. So that for me makes it way more accurate. So I think the accuracy is everything, especially with Know Thyself and the philosophy behind it, which is all about, the karma, the dharma, the soul purpose. That for me fills my soul. And this is another reason why I can't get enough of it. I think it's very, very important. And in Vedic astrology, the moon plays an even more significant role than in Western astrology. So in Western astrology, they'll look at the sun sign, which may not be even accurate, but you look at the sun sign of your core personality. And in Vedic astrology, the moon sign is a lot more important because it has to do with your mind and emotions and the soul's needs. So it offers insight into how you process emotions, and it relates to your inner world. Now, the ascendant, the rising sign, just like in Western astrology, it's very crucial in Vedic astrology. And it's calculated the same way that the sun and the moon sign is, with the exact placement of where the planets are. So you may think you have a Virgo. I was told by Western that I have a Virgo rising. No, I don't. I'm actually a Leo rising. Look at the hair. It's a Leo rising. You can always tell. There's certain traits you can always tell. You can see. But also, Vedic astrology offers a deeper understanding of your soul's journey and looks at your past lives and how your actions in this life might be influencing your present and your future. So they also have dashas and planetary periods that you can gain insight in the timing of events. Another thing that Vedic astrology has is they have planetary remedies. So it's famous for their remedies, which they may look at your chart and they may say, if you wear a certain gemstone or if you chant a certain mantra or you do a specific ritual, that all helps to aim to bring you into positive energy and harmony. So they're it's a whole practice here. So in Vedic astrology, typically, now this is changing, but originally, I should say, they did not use the outer planets, where Western astrology looks at the outer planets. What does the outer planet mean? Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. But now many more modern Vedic astrologers are looking at those. But when Vedic astrology began, these planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, they weren't showing up. Always there, they just couldn't see them. So these outer planets are referred to as generational planets because they move really slowly and they stay in a particular sign for extended periods. And they actually influence an entire generation rather than an individual on a personal level. However, Vedic astrologers now really many of them do look at them, particularly to predict the future. Particularly, like if you hear me talk about Neptune as retrograde, or Uranus, or Pluto, which is coming up. It's important. I think they're extremely important here. So I think that's also very important here. So let's see, what else can I say about it? Again, the Western system places more of a strong emphasis on the sun sign, which is the sun. Where was the sun at the time of your birth? But again, in Vedic astrology, we're going by a different time period here. So, but in Western astrology, it is considered your core essence and your overall personality. So Western astrology also includes things like the rising sign, of course, and your moon sign and your houses and aspects. But Vedic astrology is more nuanced. And what do I mean by that? So in Vedic astrology, we also have a thing that we look at, and you've heard me say the term nakshatra. So nakshatra is a celestial house. But in simple terms, nakshatras are more detailed zodiac systems. So you get a lot of details. So you can imagine when I was 20 years old and he's telling me, you're going to do this. I'm like, I couldn't even pronounce. I have trouble pronouncing it now. But I mean, it's like almost an overwhelming system to think to even learn, except it really isn't. And it's a beautiful system to learn. It's beautiful. And it's a kind of thing where you will learn forever and a day. I mean, you just keep learning and growing. But the nakshatras are, as I mentioned, is a more detailed zodiac system. And instead of the 12 zodiac signs, there are 27 nakshatras, and each has a specific section of the sky, the moon that it passes through, and the nakshatras are about 13.20 degrees. So they offer a finer lens for understanding life events or your personality. And so I think it's a really, really important, the nakshatras system. It's so important here because it just, again, helps us learn more about ourselves. And it's funny because, and I use this as an example, my mother and I both were Leo. I'm a Leo rising and my mother was a Leo rising. But her nakshatra was different than mine. Her nakshatra was about, it's the same as Trump's, actually, Mula, which is, or Maga, I'm sorry, Maga, that's what it's actually called, Maga. And it was all about, she was like the queen. And my nakshatra was a completely different nakshatra, and it was more about like service to her. And that was really accurate because you'd think, well, we both have Leo rising. So I love the symbolism of all of it. I think the symbolism is really important. And again, with the nakshatra, each one is associated with a deity and the qualities and the lessons in karma. Everything gives us a detailed lesson about learning about yourself. And for that reason, I think it's really, really important. And Renee, if you could put this up for us, and here's you can take a picture of this. Renee, can you put this up, the tropical date versus the sidereal date? You will see this, and I think that you will, it'd be good for you guys to take a picture of this. Here we go. So if you can take a picture of this, you'll see that, like, for instance, today is July 17th, right? And so most people would think that, well, you'd be a Cancer in either one. So you'd be a Cancer in July 17th would be a Cancer in tropical and in sidereal, but at different degrees. So just take a peek at this and tell me what you think of, and then take a picture of it. And you might say, you know, Kellee, but like James, he always says, I'm a Virgo. His birthday is August 23rd. And I'm like, no, you're nothing like a Virgo. You're a Leo. Your sun is in Leo. And I have his chart, by the way. His sun is in Leo. So it just cracks me up. So anyway, it's a really great thing to know. And there's a wonderful Vedic teacher that offers a university if anybody is interested. And her name is Joni Patry, Joni, Joni Patry, Patry. She's a wonderful Vedic astrologer and a wonderful Vedic teacher, and has her own university of Vedic astrology. And she's phenomenal. It's really phenomenal. Phenomenal. She worked with Shakopani years ago. So I would highly recommend, if you wanted to take a class or study with that, that would be a good thing. So this is, for all these reasons, this is why I use Vedic astrology. So I hope that helps everybody. I hope that helps. So let's see. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Hi, Rita. Yes, the bad weather did hit me recently. Yes, it sure did. But we were good. Thanks for checking in. I hope you were good too. We all been. Oh, Carla Bell, I know you live in Wisconsin. This week has been so crazy, and I've been saying your line, pack your patience. Please, everybody, pack your patience, because everybody will be tested in ways they had no idea, which is like a pop quiz, only it's like a giant pop test for everybody. You'll have lots of opportunities to react, not react. Think like that. Think how. I mean, Don and I got hit with some big ticket items this week and last week. And come to think of it, the week before. Yep, it's been a crazy time here. So yeah, Kim Ann says owls are normally out at night, so that was sure a totem. For sure, Kim Ann, I agree with that. That was such a message for Rick East. That was such an East. Oh, thanks, Jean. I love gladiolas. They were my mother's favorites, but they're some of my favorites too. I love them. I think they're fantastic. Lisa Marshall says, Kellee, I'm from Central Oregon. We have a fire of over 90,000 acres near our town. I've been calling in angels and praying. Oh my gosh, just before the fire started, I had a flock of nighthawks flying all around me and hunting for bugs. It was magical. Oh, I got chills. Finding the good in the chaos. Oh, Lisa, I am gonna quote you on that. Finding the good in the chaos. I think everybody should write that down. Finding the good in the chaos. And there will be a lot of fires. Again, this is a Mars energy, and it's in Leo, which is a fire energy. And it's with K2, which magnifies all of this. So finding the good in the chaos. Oh, God, I love that. Oh, hi, Slobodanka from Melbourne. My little brother Theo's in concert in Australia, and I don't know if he's in Melbourne, and you might want to check Theo Katzen. Most of his shows have sold out, but if he's there, you should go see him. He's the best. Oh my God, he is loving. The Australians are just fabulous, and he's having the best concerts there. Okay, Suzanne Giller, she says, Kellee, I was wondering if a friend gets a sign of possible danger on a date. Is that just for her or anyone that sees her post? Let's think about that. If a friend gets a sign of possible danger on a date, is that just for her or anyone that she sees? Could be for anybody. Could be for her. Could be for anybody. It's a good thing to pay attention to. I will tell you, so many people right now, and I'm glad you asked that question, so many people are actually having those moments of intuition, like deep moments of intuition. Please, for God's sakes, I was going to say something else. Pay attention to anything like your intuition, because intuitions are huge right now. So let's get you a card we'll do the angel cards. I love these angel cards, angel number cards. I'm loving these, but pay attention to your intuition. Interesting. 4141 habit. So Suzanne, maybe make intuition your habit and get everybody around you to make it their habit. And if you have any negative habits, time to look at them, because that's what Mercury retrograde does. Aside from bringing back people in our life, Now, you might want some of these people back in your life, maybe a time for forgiveness or having a peaceful understanding and moving forward. It could be all of the above. It doesn't have to be a negative at all, actually. Hi, Lori Sherbert. Okay, Patty Soto Morris says, Kelly, my husband is having a heart procedure. Here we go. I'm telling you, with the hearts on Monday, the 21st. He's been sleeping a lot. He's really weak. And I'm not sure if he'll survive the procedure. He lost a lot of weight and hardly eating. And am I correct in my feeling? Well, first of all, Patty, this is a tough week and a lot of heart activity going on. I'm glad that he's sleeping because he probably needs the rest. I want you to just put the most positive, loving energy around him, okay? And you are a queen of hearts, bless your heart, because your birthday is 9/25. Just want to make sure I'm correct in that, which I believe I am. Yeah, Queen of Hearts. And Queen of Hearts sends a lot of love. They have a lot of love to give. So I want you to surround your husband with a tremendous amount of love. Let's get you a card too, okay? And I think he's going to be okay, honey. So just keep us posted. Put a lot of love around him, all right? 303, forgive. I don't know what that's about, but is anybody holding on to anything that they need to let go of? So there you go. Okay. Denise Silva. Hi, Denise. Kelly, I found a praying mantis on my front door. It stayed there for several hours. Okay. That is the wildest thing, Denise. Praying mantis. And I've heard this from several people. Once they stay on the front door, or they stay wherever they are for a long time. And they're in a praying position. To me, they always represent, a higher power, a higher source. And really, I would say time to learn meditation, time to sit, because you're a king of clubs, 12-5, and king of clubs, wildly psychic. Also, they have a brain, that it's very activated. Follow your intuition. I would think that this will guide you to mastering your intuition here. That's what I would think. Okay, Conchetta. Hi, Conchetta. Your birthday is October 14th. Yes, I will tell you what number that is. October 14 is an 8 of clubs. So 8 of clubs, very, very psychic. They know what they know, wildly intuitive. Usually we call them they're often really great writers. Often they'll come in to write, or they're healers, or they're psychics. There's something along that. It's a really important birth date, actually. I love 8 of clubs because they can really think. They've got a brain that has a brain. And here's well, you know what? That's the same. I just pulled the same card. I'm sorry. That's the wrong one here. Ooh, 77, purpose. So today is about finding your purpose in the next period of time. Keep finding your purpose. Look for your purpose. Okay, there you go. Dwayne Morgan. Hi, Dwayne and Elaine. Oh my gosh. Okay, Elaine, I have a card for you. I just want you to know, Elaine, that between Michelle and between Carrie and between Shirley, we just love you so much. We just want you to know that, okay? So we are all sending you lots of love, tons of love. Here you go. I love this. Here you go. 88. That's a reward card for you. And it's purple along with your purple hearts there. There you go. It's a reward. So kind of keep us posted, okay? We love you. We're sending you tons and tons and tons of angels, okay? Love you too, Dwayne. Hey, Dusty Becker, beautiful lady. I've got one for you. Yeah, and your birthday, it was yesterday, Queen of Clubs. Let's get you a card, Dusty. Here we go. Queen of Clubs. I love this. 99. Truth. Okay, if there's ever a card for a Queen of Clubs, they're all about the truth. And they uncover anything. They can uncover and rattle any cage. Queen of Clubs. I love them. Oh, thank you, Doreen. Thank you. Marge says, how about that 7.2 earthquake? Yeah, that was huge. I have friends in Alaska, so I was thrilled to know that they were not involved with any of that. Okay, so Cheryl says Aquarius in Vedic, Aquarius in Western astrology. Yeah, some of them are, like for instance, my birthday is September 20th. That means I'm a Virgo in Western astrology, but I'm also a Virgo in Vedic astrology. The difference is in Vedic astrology, Virgo starts it on September 17th. So it's like I'm just a couple of degrees in. And yeah, here we go with this. And in Western astrology, Virgo starts August 24th, or some cases August 23rd. It all depends, but depends on that year of where it is. But it's different. You can see, and again, tropical Western astrology really looks at the sun. The sun is about the ego and the personality and all that. But Vedic astrology goes, no, we're going to go deeper now. And I love the deep dive. That's why, for me, it just resonates with me. But every once in a while, I will find people that are the same sign in either. Totally different nakshatra, though. And in Western astrology, they don't have nakshatras. So they don't have that. So it's nuanced. I love that. Again, when I was young and I saw this, I was like, I knew my soul was craving this. It was just hard to even understand the words. So mostly I just like intuitively knew it was the right thing for me. Tammy says, my birthday, it was on July 15th. Well, happy belated birthday, Tammy. So July 15th is a king of clubs. Lots and lots of intuition. King of clubs, so intuitive, so intuitive. And so you're July 15, and so July 15, now in Vedic astrology, you would be considered a Gemini. You believe that? You'd be considered a Gemini. That's right. But in Western, you'd be considered a Cancer. Now, often when we see this, maybe your rising is a Gemini or your rising is Cancer, or there's some traits that are similar, but might be different. So anyway, let me get you a card. Ooh, 1321, awareness. So I'm teaching you about a different awareness, a way to view yourself a little differently now. That's all. A way to view yourself a little differently. Hi, Bernadette. Hi, Linda K. Isn't Vedic astrology harder to learn? Yes, Linda. Yes, it is. It is. It's a lot to learn. So for me, it's a learning curve and a learning process constantly. I love it. Again, for me, it's like I have a passion for it. So somehow when I have a passion for something, it might be more challenging, but I don't care. I just dive right on in, literally head first. So it is, but to me, I'd rather have it. It's so accurate. It's just so darn accurate. Once you have a full understanding, of a session with somebody that does a full Vedic chart, you're just going to be like, whoa, it's fascinating. Okay. Deborah Weaver says, I'm having huge heart issues in these days. It's scary. Deborah, I'm telling you, it's this Mars and Ketu with the heart. Now maybe we can view this as, not to have any fear over anything. It's fear or love, and we're going to choose love because Leo also represents love, like deep love. So maybe this is a time that our heart chakras are expanding. And when there are heart issues, heart chakras expand. And it always helps us to remember this because it's all about our expansion of our awareness of being compassionate and kind and non-judgmental and letting go of the old things. And maybe there are some more heart issues because people at a certain stage in life right now, probably this would be more accurate, that they are waking up to whatever traumas they held on to, and that their soul doesn't want to hold on to the traumas anymore. It's my guess on this, because there's so much of it happening right now. That what can they let go of? What can you, and especially with Mercury retrograde, Neptune retrograde, Saturn retrograde. I mean, these are big planets retrograde. It brings us back to what can we let go of? What can we, I had a session with a woman today whose husband had passed and a brother came through. And it was funny because she spaced out for a moment that she had a brother. And, but the brother was apologizing to her for whatever it was that had gone on. And it was very unexpected in the reading that she would see this, because she was, and by the way, her husband came through. But I think we're going to see a lot of that. You know, whatever you've been holding on to, whatever anybody's been holding on to, I think that it's for our heart to expand. And by the way, I do have sessions in July open still, and I'll have my August calendar up probably in the next 2 or 3 days. I'll have that up. And I have a power of 10 coming in. I have a ton of classes coming up. I just don't have them ready to talk about them yet. And my book, Cracked Open, is still available, and we're going to get that on audio soon, I hope. So anyway, lots of things to look at. If you go to my website, I also have I have so many special things coming up, but we'll talk about that later. So Deborah Weaver says, so you're having heart issues. Okay. So, and then Lori Letterby says, interesting, I'm on an 8-day wearing a heart monitor. I'm telling you, Lori, there is something about this. It is about the heart awareness and expanding. You know, and the other thing is, the heart is everything, right? You have to have a heart. You have to have one. And so I think people are making shifts at this point. And I think the shifts are all about, you know, releasing anything that they can release, not carrying any fear anymore. Hi, Mark Brevard. How are you, honey? Oh my gosh, I'm going to get you a card, Mark, just because I love you, honey, and I haven't seen you in a while. 333. Support. I love that. 333 are the Ascended Masters. And I'd say, and your mother, giving you lots of support there. Okay, Bernadette says her husband's AFib is acting up. Bernadette, I have heard so many stories of AFib in the last 2 weeks. It's unbelievable. Young people, I was surprised to hear too, young people. So, you know, again, just pay attention, keep everybody in as calm as they can. Hi, Lori Young. This Pisces here is feeling all the extremes, very emotional. Well, I look forward to seeing you Saturday, Lori. And I'm sure, let's get you a card, Lori, because I know you are feeling 6-6 revisit. So we'll revisit on Saturday, Lori, and figure out what those extremes are. But I think everybody is just shaking up their stuff. Bonnie says, my next door neighbor had to have an unexpected triple bypass. He's been home a couple of days and he's doing well. I'm thrilled to know, Bonnie, that he's doing well. And we've heard those stories here as well. Those kind of situations. Yeah, unexpected. It's, again, these energies are extreme, but has a lot to do with the heart. So Carla says, a friend became widowed today from a heart valve situation gone unexpectedly wrong. Carla, I heard that story about it. Somebody else we know that you don't know, but that I know. It's a weird story, and I'm sorry to hear that. And I'm telling you, it's this Leo. It's going to kick some ass, but it's going to wake us all up. Okay, so remember, we come to Earth, we come here so we can have an awakening, so we can wake up. And as I mentioned this probably every time now, there was a guru that said we have thousands of lifetimes. And I'm like, no, we don't have thousands of lifetimes. She said, yes, we have thousands of lifetimes because it takes a long time to make a change. Well, here's the thing. This lifetime, this energy now, is about making changes. It's about moving forward. It's about progressing. So people will have their body situations, their mind situations, their emotional situations, their spiritual awakenings. And all of it is for the advancement of the soul. All of it. Okay. So yes, these are some big times. These are, okay. Candace McGuire says, I'm having problems with a racing heart that my cardiologist cannot figure out. Interesting. You mentioned heart problems. Yeah. So just pay attention. The heart just needs some love and attention, which I think is happening to a lot of people here. When will it be safe to sign contracts? Cheryl, great question. After about, I think it's about the 20th of August. And you're like, what? Like for a month? Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's about right. I think it is because Mercury is retrograde until August 11th. So I always typically say a few days after that. So let's say the 15th, August 15th. How about that? That would probably work. Yeah. It's not, if you can not sign something now, would probably be better. Barbara says, happy heavenly birthday to your mother. Oh, bless your heart. Marilyn McCormick, your birthday is 7/28, a king of hearts. Well, happy birthday to a king of hearts. King of hearts is all about being a mother and a father, as we call it. And I had a question from it was Patricia Weaver. Patricia, your birth date is March 2nd, and March 2nd is an 8 of spades. 8 of spades is one of the most powerful. I say this to anybody that was born on March 2nd. Often they are CEOs. Maybe they're CEOs of their own domain or real CEOs of major corporations. They're powerhouse. They're a powerhouse. 8 gives you the strength to do anything in a lifetime. So let me get you a card. 69, accountability. So some accountability for being as powerful as you are. It is a powerhouse. Here, yeah, the energy is off the charts, right? Okay, let's see. Okay, Charlene Miller says Stephen Colbert announced that they are cutting his show. Oh no, are you sure? He's going to be with us until May of 2026, hoping he goes to another station. He's great at making us laugh in these most difficult times now. Wow, Charlene, I didn't know that. These times, they are rough and they are changing. Golly, I did not know that. Thanks for letting me know. Rose, can I have a card? Yes, July 8th. July 8th is a 7 of diamonds. 7 of diamonds is we call the millionaire cards. Here's a card for you. 55. Get ready to make a shift. Make a shift. Here we go. Get ready for a shift. Shifts are coming. Laura Crum. Hi, Laura. She said, I wonder if this extreme would cause prana to hit a blockage in the heart. Sure. In the heart, prana is energy. To hit a blockage in the heart chakra to cause heart issues. It could if you're taking on the energy. So if you're taking on all of this chaos, that this energy is set up to do, if you take it on, like James and I've talked about this many, many times, like I don't watch the news. I can't. I can get snippets of it and of what I can tolerate, what I can't. And snippets are I can do. But there's so much intensity that some people don't know how to filter it out or can't or just shut it down. And so, yeah, that could cause absolutely heart issues with people. Yeah, with this extreme stuff. Oh, for sure. Oh, my God. Okay, KM says, I'm going to take a Reiki class. Perfect time to do that. Perfect time. Actually, jumping right on into Reiki would be great for you. It'd be a great thing to do. Oh, my gosh. It'd be perfect. When will the energies calm, Jennifer? Christman is asking me when the energies are going to calm. Well, they'll, I don't know. I'd like to say the end of July should calm down for a moment, but I don't really, what's the word, redact that statement? I don't think that's it. I think it's going to be intense for a few more weeks. Okay? I do. I think that. Hi, Elizabeth Preston. How are you, honey? Hi, Nancy Dominic. How are you? I need to feel your husband around, Nancy. Let me get you a card, Talking to Heaven. Let me get you a card from James's cards, Talking to Heaven, Nancy. Okay? Let me get you a card here. I watch over you every day, Nancy. He watches over you every day. Okay? Know that. Barb Kramer says, Kellee, I always thought I was a Gemini in June 8th. I've been in the quiet twin mode lately. Feel like I'm a molting home hugging. Oh, that's interesting. No, you actually in Vedic astrology, you would be a Taurus. You might have Gemini aspects there, another planet that's in Gemini. But that's a true Taurus. So interesting way to think, isn't it? Shaminina, can I have a card, please? Yeah, let's get you an angel card there. Here we go. 44, stability. So stability would be really important for you. Here you go. Melissa, in times like these, I don't feel anything. And can you find a man in your life? Because I did this with this happening times. People can find relationships at any time. Sometimes it's a better time to be in a relationship. Sometimes it's not. Let's get you a card, Melissa. 717, bravery. So be brave. If you want to go meet somebody, be brave. Go out there and be brave. Okay, how's that for you? Spirit 555, Kelly, thanks for teaching about Vedic astrology. It seems more dynamic and accurate. I feel like it is. What would a Leo be August 15th in Vedic astrology? So if you were August 15th, you would be in Vedic astrology. Let's see here. You would be a Cancer. A Cancer. You'd be right at the cusp, but you would be right at the cusp there of Cancer. So I know you might think you're a Leo, but you're right at that cusp, there. So there you go. I think that would help. Tammy Greening says, Kelly, I'm a Virgo or Leo too, but my mom can't remember the time of birth accurately, but I'm in between the two. I would love to know. Oh, I don't know. Do you have a date for me? If you have a date, we can at least look at the date. I just need the date, the month and the date. Yeah, just to see on this. Hi, Crystal Cook from New Zealand. Oh my gosh, appreciate the work. Can I have a card from my dad in heaven? Yes, you can. Crystal Cook, hold on. You are never alone there. Oh my gosh, how great is that? Oops, I'm going to put that over there. Lisa Sherberg says, Kelly, my birthday is July 29th. Does that mean I'm a Cancer and not a Leo in Vedic astrology? Yes. You did recommend a red-covered book for the beginnings of Vedic astrology. It is confusing. Lori, it is confusing. And that's why you probably need a teacher to teach you. I mean, you can read lots of books, but again, Joni Petrie is a great Vedic astrologer. There's some really good ones out there, but she's, I think, the best. I think she's the best of all of that out there. Let's see, Reflections with Stephanie Kramer. Oh, I like that. I appreciate your gift. Do you feel that Trump will last through his 4-year term? I don't think so. No, Stephanie, I don't. I think we're going to see some shifts here. I think it's going to be this is a really challenging time. It's a challenging time that we're here right now. Very challenging. And with these planets and these retrogrades, and he's got some good fortune coming up too. That's the darndest thing. He's got some really heavy duty aspects right now, but then he's got some other aspects that really can, that are better for him. So we're going to wait and see and play it all out. I think that's the best way to say it. Misty Merriman says, seems like with all of the retrogrades happening, the universe is saying, hey, are you all sure you didn't go down the wrong path here? So true. Or what was I thinking when I signed up for this? It's so true. Oh my gosh. Laura Crum says, Vedic astrology seems to make more sense to me as it incorporates change to which all things evolve. Without evolution, we remain stagnant, and that allows inescapable outcomes to occur that we may not want. Very true. That's so true. So, Susan, if your birthday is July 6th, are you really a Gemini? And so July 6th is in Vedic astrology. In Vedic astrology, you would be a Gemini. Yeah, that's correct. Yep. I know, it's really interesting, isn't it? Yeah, pack your patience. Everybody's going to need that. Thank you, Judy Loveland. I appreciate that. October 3rd is, and here we go, everybody. I forgot. I love this. I have these tumblers that I just love. Mine says, Earth is an easy school, said no soul ever, which is what I said. But we have all kinds of things. We have keychains and all kinds of wonderful little things on my site. So go check them all out. And just remember, I have some sessions open in July, and I will be opening August in probably 3 days. I'll be opening that up. And then I have so many other so many good classes coming up, everybody. So I'm really excited to tell you all about it. And hopefully I'll share some of that with you next Thursday. So I look forward to seeing everybody next Thursday. Be kind, be patient, be loving to one another. And, just give yourself a lot of love yourself. All right. Take care, my friends. I'll see you next week.
You've been listening to Ask Me Anything, featuring spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.